You're there. The conversation's flowing, there's a decent rhythm. Then out of nowhere, it hits. A sudden, crushing silence. Your mind? A vast, empty desert. Nothing. Zero. It's like someone turned off the lights inside your head. You feel your face get hot, the awkwardness thickens. You notice the other person's eyes on you. Are they judging you? You search desperately for a word, a phrase, anything, but your brain just freezes. It's a familiar horror, isn't it? That moment when you're supposed to be sharp, funny, alive. But instead, you're just a statue, trapped inside your own head, screaming on the inside. And then the story starts. You tell yourself, I just don't have anything interesting to say. I'm not naturally good at this. You think it's a flaw in who you are, like some people were born to be charismatic and you just weren't. But what if that's a lie? What if the problem isn't that you have nothing to say, but that you're actually stopping yourself from saying it? What if trying so hard to say the perfect thing is exactly what's silencing you? That knot in your stomach, that heat in your face? It's not just a passing moment of embarrassment. It's the echo of something deeper. It's the product of a life that's made you anxious, distracted, always comparing, always worried about how you look to others. You're ambitious. You're smart. You have more information at your fingertips than any generation before you. And yet, you feel lost. Stuck. Constantly pulled in 1,000 directions. 42% of people your age have been diagnosed with anxiety or depression. More than 70% say they're stressed about work, money, the future, all the time. You're the most connected generation ever, with the entire planet in your pocket. And yet, somehow, you're also the most disconnected. Why? Because every day you're bombarded by curated highlight reels. You compare your raw, unfiltered, messy life to someone else's perfectly edited moments. And it destroys your confidence. Your attention span has even shrunk. 8 seconds, less than a goldfish. It's not an insult. It's reality. Your brain's been trained to crave constant hits of novelty. Scroll, tap, like, repeat. So when you're finally in a real moment, a conversation that demands patience and focus, your mind rebels. It's not just that you're choosing to be distracted. Your brain's literally adapted to it. And when your mind goes blank, most of the time, it's not because you're empty. It's because you're so busy judging yourself, worrying about how you're coming off, that there's no space left to actually speak. It's not a lack of thoughts. It's an overload of self-criticism. You're playing mental chess with every sentence. Is this clever enough? Do they think I'm boring? What if I say something stupid? That fear of being judged is what's killing the conversation. It's your mind's misguided way of protecting you by shutting everything down before you risk embarrassment. But ironically, in trying to avoid saying something wrong, you end up saying nothing at all. This is why you freeze. Not because you have nothing inside, but because you're blocking it all with worry. You're so busy analyzing, you're not present. You're not with the other person anymore. You're trapped inside your own head. Think about it. How many times have you put people on pedestals? Decided they were somehow better than you? Cooler, smarter, more interesting. So you twisted yourself up trying to be accepted? That perfectionism turns tiny imperfections into towering disasters in your mind. You're not running out of things to say. You're running away from the discomfort of saying something imperfect. Silence feels safer, but that safety is a cage. It keeps you from growing, from learning, from living. So how do you break this? How do you stop strangling your own voice and actually connect with people? It's not about being clever. It's about being brave. It's about being honest with yourself, understanding what your mind is doing, and gently choosing to act anyway. First, stop waiting for the perfect line. Say what comes to mind within 3 seconds. Don't let your internal critic jump in and rip it apart before it even makes it out. It might be messy, awkward, so what? It's real. Each time you speak up quickly, you teach yourself to act before the fear takes over. You show your brain that you don't need to wait for flawless. You need to be present. Second, let curiosity take the wheel. Stop trying to impress people. Start trying to understand them. Ask questions that show you actually give a damn. Not what do you do, but what made you choose that path. Not where did you go, but what did you love most about it. It's about peeling back the surface, not hunting for the coolest story. Curiosity pulls you out of your head and into theirs. And here's the beautiful part. When you're curious, people feel it. They open up, and they start being curious about you too. Third, learn to follow up. When someone shares, don't just nod and wait for your turn to talk. Ask, How did that make you feel? What was the hardest part? What did you take away from that? It proves you're not just hearing them. You're listening. And bonus, it means they do more of the talking. Less pressure on you, more connection for both of you. Look for threads. Every story someone tells is packed with different directions you can explore. If they say, I just got back from Japan, it was incredible, but I'm wrecked from the jet lag. You could ask about Japan itself, about travel in general, about how they handle tiredness, about the best thing they ate. Most people grab one thread and pull. A better conversationalist sees 5 different options and picks the one that actually sparks curiosity. Balance depth with lightness. Not every conversation has to be deep and meaningful. Sometimes it's playful banter, sometimes it's heartfelt. Like a good song. It has highs and lows, light parts and intense moments. That's what keeps it interesting. And what about when your mind goes blank anyway? Because it will. Don't panic. Pause. Smile. Even say it outright. Wow, my brain just totally blanked for a second. What were we talking about? Most people don't care. They'll laugh and help you pick back up. Or look around. Use the room, the music, something nearby as a lifeline. This place has such cool art. Have you noticed that painting? Or circle back to something they said earlier. You mentioned working on X. How's that going? And if you're really nervous, have a tiny backup list in your pocket. A couple of universal topics, recent shows, favorite foods, books, small adventures. Not to sound scripted, but to remind yourself you're never truly out of things to say. Share a little of yourself too. Not by dumping your deepest secrets, but by being real. Talk about where you're from, what lights you up, the small struggles you're figuring out. It builds trust. It shows them it's safe to open up to. And finally, stop telling yourself, I want to be better at this someday. Decide who you want to be right now. Want to be the kind of person who's engaged, curious, present? Prove it to yourself in tiny ways. Ask that question. Make that comment. Speak up even when your voice shakes. Each time you do, you're not just saying words. You're building a new identity, the kind that's comfortable in the mess, the pauses, the realness. That silence you dread so much. It's not empty. It's a mirror. It's reflecting all the doubts you've been dragging around. But behind those doubts is a whole world of stories, opinions, ideas. You're not out of things to say. You've just run out of excuses not to say them. This isn't about becoming some flawless social butterfly. It's about becoming honest. Becoming fully here. Becoming willing to show who you are, messy, imperfect, human. Because that's where real connection lives. Not in perfect words, but in the guts it takes to let someone see you. So stop holding it all in. Stop worrying so damn much about saying the right thing. Be here. Be real. Be brave. Say it. Ask it. Share it. Right now.